They bulldozed my lake cabin on a live stream, 40,000 people cheering, while everything I loved turned to rubble. My wife's rose garden, the cedar siding she'd picked out the dock where we planned to watch grandkids that never came, it was all reduced to splinters because I refused to pay $800 in phony HOA fees. People thought they were watching some neighborhood justice reality show. What they didn't know was that I had been waiting for this moment, recording every threat, every insult, every glittery tantrum, and when 3 black government SUVs rolled up that driveway, the entire story flipped on its head. My name's Liam Harper. 68 years old, retired FBI agent. Spent 3 decades putting white-collar criminals behind bars. Thought I'd seen every scam in the book until I met Kathy Morrison. She rolled in that morning in a hot pink SUV with HOA president spelled across the windshield in rhinestones like some parody of Power. Out she came, phone in hand, nails clicking like tap shoes, hair glinting with glitter clips already live streaming as if demolishing my cabin was her personal reality show finale. "Good morning, community warriors," she chirped, adjusting her ring light. Yes, she brought professional lighting equipment to a demolition. You can't make this up. She turned the camera on me, still in my bathrobe, on the porch, and announced to her audience that I was a deadbeat senior citizen refusing to pay legitimate HOA fees. The comments flew in like vultures. Destroy it all. Make him pay. Meanwhile, I stood there shaking hands for the camera, playing the role of fragile old man. Inside, I was calm, almost cold, letting her talk, letting her incriminate herself. 30 years in the bureau teaches you to let the criminal bury their own grave, and Kathy was shoveling fast. She ordered the bulldozer forward, claiming community compliance included landscaping violations. I watched the blade inch toward my wife Emily's roses, the ones she planted just weeks before her accident 2 years ago. That garden was the last living piece of her I had left. My chest tightened. My eyes burned. I told myself to breathe, to keep recording, but inside I was breaking. Then came the moment Kathy's glittery mask cracked. She zoomed the camera close on my face and suddenly stopped talking. Her expression shifted from smug to pale as chalk. "Wait a minute," she muttered. Then louder, "I know that face. Agent Harper. No, that's impossible." She said it like she'd seen a ghost, and in a way she had. 10 years earlier, I'd led the case that sent her to prison for wire fraud. She'd conned retirees out of their savings, and now here she was, back for revenge, pretending to be some HOA president. I wish I could tell you I stayed strong. But the truth is, watching that bulldozer chew into the porch, watching Emily's roses about to be flattened, I crumbled inside. I thought maybe I really am too old for this. Maybe I should have just paid her off. $800 is nothing compared to what I was losing. For one awful minute, I almost gave up. I almost let her win. But then I heard the sound. Tires crunching gravel. Engines humming in perfect formation. 3 black SUVs turning down my driveway. I knew that sound better than my own heartbeat. My kids were here. Not just any kids, federal agents, every last one of them. The first door opened, and out stepped my daughter Sophia. Sharp charcoal suit sunglasses worth more than most used cars, calm smile like she was walking into a corporate boardroom. She hugged me and whispered, "Dad, I saw the live stream." "You okay?" 40,000 people were watching this, and none of them had a clue who she was. Kathy, of course, couldn't resist the drama. "Well, well, well," she sneered into her phone. "Looks like Daddy's little government pencil pusher came running." The comments exploded. "Who is she? Is this scripted?" Sophia just smiled and said, "Matter of fact, ma'am, this appears to be property destruction without proper legal authority." Her voice was calm, professional, but sharp enough to cut through steel. Then Ethan got out. "My son's a Homeland Security investigator. Buzz cut, perfect posture, scanning every angle like a soldier on mission." He didn't need to say a word. His presence alone tightened the air. Lucas followed postal inspector uniform, crisp equipment belt, gleaming, already documenting evidence with the precision I drilled into him when he was 12. Kathy, drunk on attention, doubled down. She turned to her phone. Community warriors, the federal family thinks they can intimidate me. They ruined my life 10 years ago, and now it's payback time. Her audience count ticked past 100,000. She thought she was winning. She thought she was famous. But what she was really doing was confessing to crimes on live TV. And then my heart stopped. My phone buzzed. A name flashed on her screen, visible to the entire live stream: Emily Harper, my wife. The woman buried 2 years ago. Kathy's hand trembled as she answered, and there it was. Emily's voice steady as a bell. "Kathy Morrison, I've been waiting for your call." I swear even the air froze. The chat went silent, then detonated. "She's alive! Zombie wife!" What the hell is happening? Kathy staggered back like she'd been hit with a brick. "This is impossible!" she screamed. "I attended your funeral. I sent flowers." And then Emily herself stepped out of the last SUV. Department of Justice credentials in hand, looking every bit the prosecutor I fell in love with 35 years ago. The crowd watching online went insane. Kathy's face drained of color. Emily opened her briefcase and laid out the evidence: 18 months of investigation, 47 elderly victims, millions laundered through fake HOAs. Every document, every photograph displayed with surgical precision. Kathy's nephew Derek, who had been filming while stuffing his face with McDonald's, finally cracked. "I want immunity," he shouted. "I'll testify. I'll give you everything." But Kathy, blinded by ego, still tried to spin it. "This is a federal conspiracy," she shrieked. "They faked a death. They planted evidence. They ruined my life." Spit, flying rhinestones glittering like a disco ball. She waved her phone like a weapon, screaming about her 200,000 witnesses. And that's when Emily pulled out the final nail for Kathy's coffin, a wiretap authorization signed 18 months earlier. Every phone call, every email, every live stream had been legally recorded. Kathy had basically spent the past year live streaming her own federal indictment. The chat exploded. "She's done. FBI got her. Karen is finished." Derek dropped his camera, backing away, muttering to his wife on the phone that he couldn't do this anymore. My kids stood shoulder to shoulder, 3 badges glinting in the sun: FBI, Homeland Security, Postal Inspection, while Emily leveled the final blow. "Kathy Morrison," she said, voice steady, "you are under federal investigation for elder abuse, mail fraud, and organized conspiracy. And you just broadcast your confession to 200,000 witnesses." The bulldozer engine died. The operator climbed down, hands raised. Kathy stumbled her rhinestone phone, shaking eyes darting for an escape that didn't exist. Federal agents moved in, cameras flashing, news helicopters circling overhead. The woman who thought she'd humiliate me to internet fame was dragged away in cuffs, screaming about conspiracies as the world watched live. And me, I stood on the porch of my shattered cabin, heart still pounding, phone still recording. For 2 years, I thought I was just an old widower trying to survive. Turns out I was bait in the biggest HOA fraud bust in federal history. Here's the lesson I learned that day. The one I want burned into anyone listening: never mistake silence for weakness. Sometimes the quiet old man on the porch is the trap you just walked into.